Okay, so first I will tell some of the background of our project. I'm a teacher in the University School of Joensuu in Eastern Finland, and few years ago we had a chance to begin a project which is called Innovative Pedagogy and Learning Environments. And my research is part of this project. And here you can actually see the learning ground we built it during these years. Some of the background is that this project is funded by the Finnish National Board of Education and also the university. And there were 3 or 4 teachers who were part of the project and almost 60 pupils from the 3rd to 6th class. We did a lot of cooperation with other companies and also with some other schools, for example, vocational schools in Finland. And our aim was to develop and research the learning ground, which enables a lot of different activities and affordances for studying. And for us was important that everything happens so that we also listen to pupils, so the students and the pedagogy is in the middle of everything. And because of the teachers, we have always 3 to 5 teachers. Co-teaching is very important to us. Here you can see part of the learning ground, how we call it. So it's our classroom, and we actually got it. We have been there now 2.5 years. Of course, it's changing all the time, but this is how one part of it looks like. So here are some numbers of our class. Space, we have 250 square meters. It's more than in Finland normally. Normally the classroom is approximately 60 to 70 square meters and they have over 20 kids there. So we have a lot of space, but of course a lot of pupils. So 65 we had last year and the year before when the research was made. The most important thing is that we have a big flexible space which we can transfer pedagogically how we need to. So everything is movable, furniture, we can take the screens wherever we want, or we can choose different kind of lighting. That's very important in Finland. As you know, we are here in the dark during the winter time. So we can change the lighting, we have a sound systems, or we can make the voice views however we want in the class. We have 3 different spaces actually. One big where we start the days, and then there is two spaces which are built for the group working, or we call them also quiet space. So if you really need a totally quiet environment for studying, we can arrange it. And then we have a small room where I actually was before when the internet broke down. That's called the multisensory space. So we have a chance to build like an atmosphere or build some kind of place we need for studying. For example, we can be in the middle of the middle age or in the space, whatever is important. And for example, what the kids said, they wanted to build the Finnish summer for the dark winter days. So we have a chance to build the lakes to the walls, and here the Finnish lakes or the forest or the wind or whatever they want to build. So we can make that in the multisensory room. Because of the university school, we also have teacher students, and approximately 20 at the time. They are not teaching at the same time, but in our school, we have 3 or 4 trainings during the year. So almost all the time there is somebody observing and teaching from the students also. About the space or the learning crowd, which is pretty important in my research too. As I mentioned, we can build something to our multisensory room or in the other spaces too, which are important to kids. And we call it learning ground, and we designed it together. Of course, we had like professionals with us, but the teachers were part of it all the time, and also the pupils. we had a chance to ask them what they feel, what is important for the school when they come to the mornings, what is important for them. And they said that it's important to have some hidden places where they can be, where you can have your own peace, or where you can be with a friend, but it also needs to be safe so that you can see the others. And that's one of the points we used when we started to build. They were really enthusiastic to build something that feels like home. They wanted to have a library, so the places they spent time most in Finland. And for us, the most important thing was that this enables like pedagogical solutions we want to do. One of these is the ownership of learning and student-centered pedagogy. And with all these, we went to the architect and started to plan together. I added here a link, which is for a video one of the journalists from the USA made when he was visiting us to the Washington Post. So if you want, here is the link and you can see some of our studying. I just told that what is important for the kids and what is important for the teachers, but here is actually the pedagogy in a puzzle. Before we designed the whole place, we began to plan the pedagogy, of course, and we talked a lot about first, and we had a word cloud where we had all the important things we want to have in our pedagogy and in what is important for us in the classroom. And then here are the 4 pieces of the puzzle where it's summarized. Experiences, so that we can give the kids something that they will remember long. Ownership, they can choose how they study, what they study. Of course, we give the directions when needed, and of course, we are always there to support, but we are trying to give responsibility for them all the time. And of course, it depends, are they 9 or 12, but they are learning through the years. Active learning is very important for us. We have a lot of activities in the class, and we are trying to give chances to exercise, to move during the lessons, and also that they can study with different senses. And then the community. In 65 kids, it's important that everybody feels like they are important part of the class. And we do a lot of trainings to raise the community and to be strong together. Okay, that's maybe the background, so you know where I'm working and where I'm doing my research mostly. So let's get to the research. The title is Pupils, Wellbeing and Ownership of Learning. And I have few words about the theory or the concepts here behind the research. So this is Anne Konu's model from Finland, 2002 made. It's about the well-being model. It's about students' well-being in school. And it's developed here in Finnish schools, so that was kind of easy for me to choose, even though I was looking a lot of different models first. There are 4 different themes in the model, as you can see, it's down there: social conditions, social relationships, means of self-fulfillment, and health status. We used mostly the 3 first ones: having, loving, and being. The health was not so important in this research because the research period wasn't that long, and in our class we have normally healthy kids, so we thought that it's not so important for us to get the health information and so on. We just know the basics when they come to the morning, that do they look healthy and so on. But important are the school conditions, which we have in our learning round, and social relationships, which is the community, comes also from the pedagogy, and means of self-fulfillment, where they have the ownership of learning. The other important concept is the ownership of learning, which comes from the Finnish curriculum. And what I would like to say is that the curriculum transfers of goals, which you can see there in the left side, are based for the 21st century skills. And how we have thought it is that that's something we need to learn now for them, or we need to teach them here in school, that they will be adults for the future life. And that's the ownership of learning, which comes when we teach these transversal goals all the time. They are a big part of our pedagogy. Sorry, the picture is a bit bright there, but we think that what we can do is to offer some affordances for the kids. When we develop the student-centered pedagogy so that they can learn to be the masters of their own school path. Here are a few examples what we think it's important to be in a classroom. We wanted the ground be supportive, studying and well-being. It enables the pedagogy we want to share with them, but also that it's part of their life. And as the word actually, the learning ground kind of tells us, there is a playground behind that. So they have a chance to change the furniture, the small pieces, and so on. And with this, they can share something that's important for them, for us also, and we know what we can do next time. The community where the peers, teachers, and teacher students are is also important for us and important for the kids. They are spending here 5 days a week, and also sometimes a long day, so that they come in the morning. We are maybe the first things they see or the first people they see, and when they go home they will see the parents and they will tell about the day. So it's important that they feel safe and they feel happy here. And also the affordances, like the pedagogical ones, so that we can offer something that they can be active in their own role. They have the experiences, and with these they can feel the ownership of learning. We have a lot of ICT solutions, ICT possibilities in our classroom, and we use it as a tool. Everybody have own Chromebooks, or when we have smaller kids in our school, they have the iPads. And also so that they can use the ICT and it's just part of the studies. So in my research, what we did, here are some tools what we used. It's done with different companies. We had a chance to use cooperators from the project we had, and School Day was one of them. It's an application for well-being. We had a chance to change the questions to set the Konu's well-being model background. And for ownership of learning, we had a good company with us, Neurosky, with the EEG biosensors. And we also had a university to help us to set the videos, sounds for the observation for all the research lessons. So this is what we did. At spring 2019, we had a research period. Our pedagogy is based on phenomena, so that we don't teach different subjects. And in a year, we have 4 different big themes, so those phenomena which are raised from the Finnish curriculum. In these research weeks, it was democracy and economy. We thought that it's something we can study from many point of views. The well-being with the School Day, it was researched during the 6-week period, every morning and every afternoon. They had an application in their phones or the Chromebooks, they could choose, or both. And they have a scale of 5 with emojis. That was on the the previous slide. They answered every morning and every afternoon. The questions were, for example, how do they feel this morning? Do they have good vibes? How are the relationship with friends? How do they feel the playing ground? Is the environment supporting studying? Every morning the same questions, every afternoon the same questions. And also about, for example, about eating. Did you eat the breakfast? Did you eat the lunch at school? In Finland, we have warm lunch for everybody that's free. So everybody gets the food in school once a day. And the ownership of learning with the biosensors and video observation we did in 2 weeks. All the phenomenal lessons which we have with 3 to 4 teachers were videotaped, and the kids were using the sensors. You can see in the picture there is one kid with the sensor. From 65 kids, we had approximately 40 kids taking part of the research. And that the data went straight to University Web and MATLAB, and the analyzing is going to happen in the physics and mathematics department. Here are some research about the well-being. That's the first article. So these results we already have, and the article is almost ready. So kids really enjoy their stay in our school, and they are happy when they come there. They are even more happy in the afternoons. They think that the space for studying is also good. We have heard a lot of things about the big class and so on, that there won't be any peace for studying, there is noisy, but this wasn't something that would have come up in our research. So we had actually in the building phase of this our space, we had extra attention to acoustics, for example. So it's really taught from the beginning. They were motivated for studying, and they felt brisk every day in the morning and also in the afternoon. And here you can see the biosensor. That's something that's kind of new to have this kind of research in classrooms. So the data of these NeuroSky EEG sensors, it's now being analyzed. And Professor Pasi Vahimaa from the Department of Physics and Mathematics he's part of our research team. He's enthusiastic and he's really skilled and specialist for this kind of analysis. For me, as an educational scientist, it's something pretty new and also hard because there is a lot of data. So I'm learning all the time, and I feel that it's something that should come to the classrooms too. So I think it's important to get this also to educational scientists. Here you can see a few examples about the plots. That these are the pictures now, which I added. There's a lot of data. The sensor is sending a mark in every second to web, and the algorithms, those are made by NeuroSky, so we haven't done those. We are interested to see the concentration, which is one of the algorithms, and attention, how kids pay, what kind of attention they pay to their studies. And these kind of algorithms, what we have, and these kind of results we will get from the MATLAB, we will then compare to teachers' analysis. Okay, there is no text coming, but I will explain to you. So we have like 2 class teachers. We are there. I'm on the left, and Minna, my colleague, on the right side. We do the analysis from scale 1 to 5 in every minute, like how it seems for us that the special kid who we are researching is studying, is concentrating for the studies. And then we have been comparing our observations. It seems that we are doing pretty same things, and now the data is compared to NeuroSky data then afterwards. And we also had like a sound system that we can hear what they are talking. So it's taking care of it's part of the observation too. And for the next thing, what we are going to do is that we are going to write the articles. The first one is almost ready. It's more about the learning ground, the system, the pedagogy, and the well-being. We thought that might help us to explain it shortly in the other articles, so we don't have to use so much space. And article 2 and 3 are part of the NeuroSky and teacher analysis. And of course, we need to summarize this somehow afterwards. So that's shortly about what we are doing and working here, and also about my research. I'm happy to hear the questions or comments if you have.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Ulla. I think your presentation has also been very inspiring, and I'm happy to have invited you also, because I will bring my students also later on to your presentation. But from the Spanish point of view, there is a lot of this reluctancy about what is being done in Scandinavian countries, because they think, I don't know, they think children there are different, and it's everything very difficult. And I think it's just a matter of an approach. I feel always very comforted when I come to Finland and I see how the approach is really to put the children in the center and then construct things about what they need, what it motivates them, what they want to do. And I think this is something that where we have seen also all these neurotechnologies that are coming up will help us also in other places to realize that this barrier between what the teacher does and what the student is learning, this has to be overcome. Much more fluidity. You have to understand each other much better. And this is something I think you have big advantage over us, because you have been already for many years working this approach of center education. I'm sorry, this Anna is not disconnected because she has some teaching in the morning. She also made some research also on education, early childhood education in other countries also, in Spain, and she would also have some questions for you. Sure. So this project, what you are doing and what you presented today, this will be more my question. You said it involved like 40 children?
Yeah.
For how long? And if you are planning to replicate this, it's an ongoing project, I understand. So it's going to get more children?
Yes, we have, with the NeuroSky, we made the deal that we can get the EET sensors to our school, to university. So we have actually a chance to repeat the whole system if we want to. And what we have been thinking is now that maybe we do the next one with the teachers. So we have a good data now, and we know how it works. And now we have actually a dream that we can make like a map or a game about co-teaching. That's something that is really coming now in Finland, that you are not working anymore alone. You can use your strengths. So we have been thinking that maybe we could use it so that we would compare the teachers working alone to the teachers who are working in a team. And we could use the biosensors next time for that. But of course, it's also possible to repeat the research in our class with the new students. And actually, the amount of kids are depending on the amount of sensors. We had 40 sensors, and we got actually first permission to research for 40 kids, but then 2 of them decided not to take part, and it was actually good because it wasn't working that well. We always had one or 2 extras we could use. And just if you can't hear me, or if there is a bad connection, you can also ask or comment through the chat, so I can try to answer there or try to answer aloud.
Hi Ulla, Jouni Kallio from Finland.
Yeah.
Moi. Thanks for a really interesting presentation. Your study is really interesting. I'm interested to know, have you planned on looking at different teaching methods? You were talking about the co-teaching, but for example, active learning. So children that are sitting while learning compared to moving while learning. Have you thought about using your tools for that?
Actually, that was my first idea. I'm the person with the active learning always. And the problem is that the sensor is not working. It's kind of prototype. So if they are moving a lot or jumping, the data is, we get less data than when they are working in a one place or so on. So it's still part of the tool. But we didn't change the pedagogy so that they were active, they were moving, they were doing robotics, they were running around the school, and they were still using the sensors. So now we are just trying to analyze that, what is like the line where we can take the data and when not, because there is not that much data when they are moving so much. But of course, we didn't change the pedagogy, so it has been active at the time, and then at the time they have been sitting and studying with friends or alone or how they want it. But it's a good idea. It's just still about the tool that you can't really move with the sensor that much, or you can take it to the breaks or to physical education class. It doesn't work that well yet. We used it with the hats. They had a chance to take a hat with them, or a cap or something, if they felt that it's dropping. But actually, after the first day, they didn't really realize it anymore, that it's there or not. But still, it's not working that well for exercising or moving all the time.
All right. Yeah, that's quite understandable. So then one possibility is to study then the effect of active break. So have them sitting and then do the active break and look whether they concentrate better if their sitting is broken at times. But yeah, really interesting stuff. Thank you.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting now when we have third graders here this year. So they are a bit smaller, and also they have more breaks. So we could see that if there is a difference after the break or before.
Sure. I could still ask one more question. So you said that the pupils really enjoy being in the larger classes, and you mentioned that there's been talk about the noise issues and some children not being comfortable in such big crowds. Do you have any ideas? What have you figured out that the others haven't? What are maybe some of the things that you've learned that have helped the pupils enjoy the larger classes?
What we think, it's not a research actually, but it's not like a result. But the one thing is the acoustic. It's really important. When we started to build our space, we have a Genelec, which is like a Finnish company for sound systems. They were building with us, and they said that the acoustics are not enough. So we got another company to work with us, Konu Acoustics, which were there all the time to see that there is enough, how do you call it, like acoustical things on the walls, I don't know how it's called, and so on, that we can work there with this kind of group of people. We have a lot of space, as I mentioned, and small places where you can be. So if we all know that the classroom is always like an open office. There is no space there's no like one room for every student. It's always open. But what we have done is that we have like a tent. It's something that the kids ask to have. We have a cave. We have small rooms. We have cubes where you can build like your own walls or own nest or whatever you need. So that's maybe one of the things. And the other is maybe the community. We are working a lot with that. And for example, we have some research results how our special education teachers who have some issues, how they are working in this kind of space. And it seems that they are working even better because they get new friends from these different classes. They have like there is always somebody who wants to work with them. There is always like small groups we can pedagogically arrange, and we always have like a group of 3 or 4 kids who we we always decide it before the phenomena, and there is always some support from the peers also. That's maybe some of the things, but there is not so much research about it yet. Yeah. Okay, if there is nothing else, you can follow us in Facebook or Instagram, or you can see the UAF Connect address there, or the web page where you can see our connection details. There is the team. We are working here. Now we have a little bigger team because we have more kids. Now we took the 3rd graders. So just be in touch with us. We are happy to hear you and welcome to see our learning ground or pedagogy, or discuss about the research or development we have here.